resume. You're live. Hello, Jim.
Hello, everybody.
Put your pinky finger to the moon. Here we go, folks. Hello, folks. We're going to have the live show today now.
That's right, live feed. Remember, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS.
It's true. We have a distraction. Jimmy.
What's that?
Jimmy's my distraction.
Why am I your distraction?
Oh, because I'm crazy about you. Creepy. Okay, let's see if I'm on. Go to my channel. There I am. We're on, Jim. Let me try to raise this in a little bit better. How's it? A little better? Too much table, Jim, you think? Too much table?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So welcome to the IRS Radio Hour on the AM 560. The answer.
We're just going to jump right in, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned because we're starting ASAP.
Pursuant to Internal Revenue Service guidance, be advised that any federal tax advice contained in this program is not intended to be used, and it cannot be used by any person or entity for the purpose of avoiding any tax penalties that may be imposed by the Internal Revenue Service or any other U.S. federal taxing authority or agency, or promoting, marketing, or recommending to another party any transaction or matter addressed in this show. The opinions expressed by the host and the guests are their own and may not be used as authoritative advice. Any use of this material without the written consent of the host is strictly prohibited.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy, on AM 560, The Answer. Tune in every week at 5 for an informative discussion about IRS obligations, credit card debt, mortgage default, collection activity, and how to resolve these legal issues using tax resolution, debt settlement, mortgage loan modification, foreclosure defense, and bankruptcy. Your host is Stephen Leahy, and the principal at Open Tax Resolutions and the law office of Stephen Leahy, PC. Stephen is the author of Deal with Your IRS Problems Today. IRS and debt issues are serious, but there is help. There are resolutions. So get ready and take notes during the IRS Radio Hour. And now, here's your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy.
Hello, Chicago taxpayers. Here we are at Studio C at AM 560, The Answer. This is the IRS Radio Hour.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Now remember, this show is sponsored by the law office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, and OPM Tax Resolutions.
God bless you, OPM Tax Resolution.
OPM helps people solve IRS problems. We help people with audits and levies, liens and garnishments, collections, unfiled tax returns, and payroll tax issues. We also help people with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So if you have any of these problems, or if you know someone who does, then you should give us a call at 312-664-6649. Again, it's 312-664-6649, or visit us on the web at ChicagoTaxTeam.com. I want to introduce our technical producer, Deborah Schreiner.
Hey guys, good to see you both.
Yes, woohoo!
Great to see you too,
Happy
Deborah.
August.
It is August now. That's right. And I have another person here with us. He is my nephew, my co-host, my realtor, my very good friend, Jim Leahy.
I want to introduce somebody that really is a star. He's smart, he's strong, he loves this state. He's like a legend.
This is all true, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Not only do we talk about stuff that's going to pertain to you when it comes to fixing your IRS problems, but we're going to talk about stuff that is going to relate to you when it comes to the news, when it comes to politics, when it comes to selling your home. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Leahy with That Properties, 847-271-3695. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, Open Tax Resolution is also there for you as well. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you know somebody who has a problem, listen, I get it. I know a friend who's got a friend who's got a friend who has this tax problem. Open Tax Resolution will help you. Give them a call. Get the problem fixed today. 312-664-6649 or visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS.
Okay, so before we do our segment, I wanted to talk about, because we record the show on Friday and it airs on Sunday. So yesterday, I was out at Project Hood, and Joe Walsh is volunteering at that event, and a lot of people from Joe Walsh and me too.
You want me to do the read?
No, go ahead, Jim.
You want me to do the read? Project Hood and New Beginnings Church present the world's largest baby shower. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Project Hood, helping others obtain destiny. Saturday, August 4th, 2018, 10 to 4 o'clock p.m. Okay, so 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock. It's a block party. 6330 South King Drive to 6620 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois, 60637. The world's largest baby shower will be held on Saturday, August 4th, 2018 on Chicago's South Side.
You're like a professional radio person.
I have done this before.
I know. But I gave away 200 hot dogs at that event, and so I wanted to mention it, and a shout out to Joe Walsh and all the hard work that he and all of his volunteers do to help organizations such as this. I know there's a golf outing too, I believe, next weekend that's sponsored by Joe Walsh also. That's my understanding. I am not going. I don't golf anymore because there's a lot of reasons. but anyway, let's go into the segment.
The News Roundup.
Review and comment on the news.
And we got a lot of news this week, ladies and gentlemen, as we do every week.
What kind of news would you like to talk about today, Jim?
I'd like to talk about Brian Urlacher getting into the Hall of Fame, but that's not the show for it. All right, I get it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's big. That was big.
That was big. My favorite football player of all time. My favorite football player. I grew up watching it.
That's in your.
I know.
Someone asked me who's my favorite football player, Jim?
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Correct. He is my favorite football player of all time.
Followed by.
Because that's my era.
Followed closely second by Doug Flutie.
Maybe not Doug Flutie. Doug Plank. Maybe.
Oh, Tom Waddle.
That's right. And Dick Butkus. I like, but that was before my time, really. I remember watching Dick Butkus when I was a kid.
Alonzo Spellman.
I remember. Big Cat Williams.
Yeah, I like Big Cat.
I do too.
I love Big Cat.
I'm not kidding.
Remember when they went to the playoffs in 2001? That was like the first time in my life.
He coaches at Deerfield High School with my kids, so he's out there.
I'm very mad about that because I didn't have a chance to
work with him.
Work with him. He was one of my favorite players growing up. But then Brian Urlacher came in 2000. God, was he just? That's my childhood right there. It was kind of funny because he sat there before the Hall of Fame game talking with the Bears, and you could see all the young guys, and they're younger than me now. I'm getting up there a little bit. I'm still in my 20s, but still, these guys are younger than me. They're like 21, 22, 23 years old, and it's kind of funny because they're all sitting there. I mean, even Mitchell Trubisky sitting there getting an autograph from Brian Urlacher. It's like it's kind of weird because I still see Brian Urlacher as like, hey, this guy could still play. Yeah, this guy could still go out there and play. He's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he is. He's got hair now, too.
I don't know about his knees.
There's a reason probably why he retired. That's a tough
He
It's a
retired
tough line.
because the Bears did.
It's a tough line of work. I know
It is
he
a
was
tough
going to
line of
resign
work.
it. They're going to resign
Nobody
him.
was going to resign
I
him.
know.
There was talk that he was going to go to Dallas,
I-
but then he wasn't going to get the money he wanted.
And I can't. Why I ain't going to play for that kind of money? I
no,
get it.
why would I? You know.
And
You know what he's doing with the Bears too? It's just it really is cool because what they did to him. You know, a lot of teams will hold out and I'm not going to represent you. Like look at Bobby Hull
I know.
with the Hawks. I'm not coming back.
But he did come
He
back.
did eventually, but it took him quite some time.
He did.
And would you question Brian Urlacher if it took him quite some time to come back with the Bears?
But
he's still there talking with
So I want to mention some of these Trump events. Maybe we should hold that for the Trump.
We're
the
going to
Trump
hold that for
segment.
the Trump segment. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, one of the pieces of news that we have is, everybody going after the media. And rightfully so, because they are out of line, ladies and gentlemen. They are always out of line. The media has been out of line
Costa,
for
you
years.
talk about Costa coming
and
out.
then did you see, what is it?
Sarah Sanders.
Sarah Sanders going after him. And it's true. You're going to get
Actually,
somebody
he was
hurt
going
here.
after her.
I know.
And then she's trying to defend herself. I don't like when Jim Acosta tries to make himself like he's the news media. Oh, you're coming after the news media. No, I'm coming after you.
Because you are lying.
And you do the same thing. You go after everybody and
Because you have a jaded view on everything.
I agree
You
with
guys
that.
are picking a side and trying to show
he says
only
we're
that
false,
side.
we're fake news. You know why that is?
Yeah,
everybody
because
believes it.
guess what? Go on YouTube, ladies and
Did you
gentlemen.
see that though? Did you see all
Actually,
the,
go on YouTube,
that was
watch
at the
our
Trump,
videos. Watch
that
our
was at the
videos.
Trump rally when they were all screaming, CNN,
Stinks. Yes.
anti-CNN
You
stuff.
did not say in the course of those remarks that you just made that the press is not the enemy of the people. Are we to take it from what you just said? We all get put through the ringer. We all get put in the meat grinder in this town, and you're no exception. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. I wish that had not happened. But for the sake of this room, the people who are in this room, this democracy, this country, all the people
Not a
around the world
democracy.
are watching what you're saying, Sarah.
It's
And the White House for the United States of America,
Democratic.
the President of the United States should not refer
What's
to us
the
as
key
the enemy
word?
of the people.
I get
It's
it.
a republic.
I'm glad you had that.
Or representative republic.
I know it's a representative. Republic.
But I'm so sick of people talking. You're
it's our democracy.
ruining
One
our
that-
democracy.
Oh, I see this.
Good, yeah,
I
because
gotta
we're not
beef.
we're a representative republic.
And
We
of course,
are a republic.
Of course, all
Get
the
the terminology right. It's like that
left all-
article about the Nazi flag flying when it's really. I mean, we're running out of time here. There is a news article from NBC coming out of New York saying that this man is flying a Nazi flag. You know what the flag is? And when you read the article, you're like, why is he flying a swastika? What is he doing?
Who would do that?
You know what he's flying? A Confederate flag, and they're calling it Nazi. It's just wrong terminology. They're trying to rewrite history, and that's the problem that we have. Recognize what happened and move on from it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show lined up for you today. What are we talking about blog segment-wise?
I'm going to talk about getting representation before you talk to any law enforcement individual, federal or state.
That's wonderful. And then we're going to be doing the Trump segment. We're also going to be doing Mr. Know-It-All, as we always do. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Brian Urlacher because this is a Hall of Fame weekend. I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a Hall of Fame customer service, you give Opum Tax Resolution a call, 312-664-6649.
Nice
And visit
segue.
ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because after the commercial break, more IRS radio hours coming your way here on AM 560.
The answer. Details of Chinese mole by Dianne Feinstein's side for 20 years. I think that's Uba Aberdeen is a mole, I believe.
Uma?
Uma.
Uma Wiener?
Yes. We don't talk like that on the show.
That was her name, wasn't it?
Oh, he's out. Who my hot dog? He's out. Throw it out at the
New
plate.
details emerged Wednesday about how a mole for the government of Communist China managed to stay by Senator Dianne Feinstein's side for nearly 20 years. It happened 5 years ago, but additional information is just surfacing about how the Bay Area senator's office was infiltrated by a Chinese spy. Unbelievable.
And they say that's fine. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
And we got to worry about the Russians, right?
Yeah, for real.
He didn't touch him. Oh, it looked like he might have hit his arm. This is going to be a tough segment for me, but let's do it. Oh, let me pull something up here.
Come on. Hey, I'm doing the radio show. I'm going to have to give you a call back. Hey, I'm doing the radio show. I'm going to have to give you a call back. All right, bye. Oh, they called him safe.
I said he missed his arm.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in northeastern Chicagoland area, you give me a call, Jim Leahy with Ad Properties, 847-271-3695. Again, that phone number, 847-271-3695. If you're in another state looking to come to Chicago for business, give me a call. I'll help find you a home today.
Tomorrow.
And yesterday.
Well, not yesterday.
Yesterday's
gone. Tomorrow's not here. Tomorrow never comes.
We're all just dust in
It's
the
always
wind.
now. Dust in the wind is correct. Okay, let's do the show. Whenever Deborah's ready.
Want to watch Lollapalooza?
Lollapalooza.
Zach, get down!
Foul?
Why are you grabbing the ball? Why is that fan touching the ball?
Was
Get
it-
him out of there.
Was it a foul ball?
Yeah, but still, why are you going for the ball?
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Welcome back. I am your host, like the guy just said. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Here with Deborah and Jim, and we're going to talk about interesting things.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog. What kind of interesting things are you talking about?
Well, you know, generally on this segment, I talk about what's going on in my office. And I came into this show today going to talk about strategic defaults, because I get a lot of calls recently about strategic defaults. And that's when you own a home, maybe a rental property, and you're behind and you're trying to get out from under. And so you default and you hope that you can get out from under. But something more important came along that I thought that would be more I think it's that we should talk about it. And this has to do with talking to federal officers from the IRS, from any federal department, from even police officers, and what's at stake if you're even a witness. So say, for instance, the IRS comes out to your house and they start asking you questions. And you say, well, I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm going to answer their questions. Maybe it isn't even about you. Maybe it's about somebody you know. Maybe it's about the guy who prepared your tax returns. Who knows what it's about? But they're going to ask you questions and you figure, well, I haven't done anything wrong. But before they even come out to see you, right, they've done a lot of research. Right, they have paperwork and information and done and looked you up, and believe me, they've done their homework before they even come out to. Then they act like they they don't know anything about you, and they start asking you questions, okay, and you start answering them. And what they're trying to do, they're because they know about you. They're trying to box you into something. And so here's my advice to people. Okay, there's a code. It's 18 USC code section 1001. Okay, 1001.
Wait, that's my combination. Right?
But we'll change it. 1001, which makes it a crime to make false statements to any federal officer. Okay, this is what got
Barbara Streisand.
No.
Martha Stewart.
I know. I was just.
This is what got Martha Stewart in trouble. Okay, and General Kelly Flynn, and this is what gets them in trouble because it's not the crime. It's not telling the truth, and it could be irrelevant about what it is that they're what they're investigating. But you say something that's not true, and then they could put you in jail for it. Again, ask Martha Stewart. They put her in prison for this. Everybody thinks it's because of her, because it was.
I thought she also did insider trading.
That's what the investigation was about. Was insider trading, but I believe she went to jail because of Section 1001, which was making false statements to investigators. Okay, so here's my advice to people. And I remember I had a relative not too long ago who had the police come out to his house and ask him, "Hey, we understand you were at this event. Maybe you can come down and talk to us." And I thought. And he said, "Well, should I go down and talk to him?" And my answer was, "No, you don't go down there by yourself, right? They're not just trying. They're not just trying to get information from you. They think you have something to do with it, even if you're just a witness, right? You don't go there by yourself." And I would never let somebody in my family go to a police station, and especially when you talk about federal investigators, because now there's. A lot of this law doesn't apply. What I was just talking about, the Section 1001, doesn't apply to state investigators. It applies to federal investigators, and this is where you get trapped. Okay, so if this ever happens to you, someone comes to your house, IRS. Department of Treasury, the FBI, go down the list because there's so many investigative agencies within the federal government, and no matter what it is, no matter EPA, there's a whole laundry list of these federal investigators, and when they come to your house and they're knocking on your door or giving you a call, say, "Hey, why don't you come on down and talk to us?" And you say, "Well, I haven't done anything. So I'll go down and talk to them." Do not go down and talk to them without first consulting an attorney. Okay, get a criminal attorney. Call them. Be very polite. Yes, I want to cooperate with you 100%, sir. But I need to consult with my attorney first. So my attorney will be in contact with you. Please leave your number, and I'll have my attorney contact you, and we will set up a meeting. And then you could set up the meeting where you want, perhaps, maybe in a more. Instead of being under the hot lights of the FBI, maybe do it in somebody else's office, but review with somebody else, some third party, about what might be maybe what they're looking for, and also don't ever say anything that's not true. Remember, you also have the right to remain silent. You have every right to remain. You don't have to answer anybody's questions.
Officer, I'd like to comply. I'd really help you out. I'm going to be honest with you.
Now, they might be able to go and get a grand jury and bring you up and indict you, but make them do that. There's got to be something real serious for them to spend the money and the time and effort to do this. And if that's that serious, well, then you're right not to answer the questions. Okay, yeah. So don't answer the questions. You have a right not to answer the questions. Talk to an attorney. Sit down with the attorney. Review what might be said. Have an attorney present. It's going to cost you some money. Well, yeah, it's going to cost you some money. But what's your freedom worth? Think about that. And if they get you in this, not only are you going to need an attorney because they're going to bring an action against you and you're going to have to pay to defend yourself, but if you lose, you go to prison. There's not something to play games with. You don't.
Exactly.
Well, I'm trying to do this by the cheap. You don't do that by the cheap. You don't stay out of prison by the cheap. Okay, you spend the money, you get some help, and you don't fall into the trap because you don't have $1 in the bank. Okay, you do whatever you can, and I'm not. My advice to people is always be honest. Always be honest, but sometimes your honesty will get you in trouble, and it's not what you say; it's how you say it. Okay, so sometimes you could be being honest, and it comes across as maybe the guy doesn't believe you, and he's still going to cause you nothing but trouble. Okay, so
we've said it time and time again. Remember, representation is increasingly and incredibly important because remember, the IRS is starting to come after you more and more and more.
They're using the criminal code instead of the civil code to come after people, especially when it comes to payroll tax issues, for instance.
And that's becoming a large-scale issue, especially with the rollbacks, with the taxes and everything.
Exactly.
We're starting to change the tax code. Things are getting confusing. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form an attorney, as you avid IRS Radio Hour listeners know. But what I am saying is, what Attorney Stephen Leahy is saying, it is important to call the right people. Doesn't matter if it's open tax resolution. We prefer open tax resolution, but call somebody.
I agree with that.
312-664-6649 to visit chicagotaxteam.com.
Now, one thing I always do is I encourage people to call me and ask me questions. And I want you to call me and ask me questions. And if I'm not right for you, I will tell you I'm not right for you, and I'll help you find someone that is right for you.
And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are sitting there and you don't want to call, you don't like using the phone, every Friday we do a live, because we record Friday, show airs Sunday. We do a live show on YouTube. We're doing a live feed. Go on the live feed on Fridays. Follow Attorney Stephen Leahy, PC. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And you can watch previous videos. You can also watch live and ask questions. That way you can ask live, be anonymous, and we'll get that question answered for you. And if that doesn't answer at that point, then call open tax resolution. But there are ways of doing it. This problem should not consist or keep going on and on.
I agree with that. And again, you have to get help. Don't add. And that's why I went back to this question, because it's so important, because even people who know better, they like other police officers and other law enforcement, they know better and they still fall into this trap because they don't want to appear to be guilty. And better to appear to be guilty when you're innocent than to get trapped and found guilty when you're really innocent.
Exactly.
Right? So better appear to be and protect yourself. Always think about protecting yourself. Again, because you're talking about your freedom, and your freedom is worth the protecting, just the way it is. And think about it. Don't get caught in the trap.
That's right,
my
ladies
advice.
and gentlemen. Remember, open tax resolution is there for you. But again, as we're saying, make sure you get some representation. If you're having a problem, call somebody. Shop around. That's what's great about our economy. You can shop around. You can look around. So remember, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 to visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Again, we do a YouTube live show. You can watch Fridays because we record Friday. Show airs Sunday. Watch it Friday. Ask a question. We'll answer it on the show. That way you can have it answered right away. Ladies and gentlemen, there are ways of solving your problems. Let's get it solved today. 312-664-6649 to visit chicagotaxteam.com. Now, without further ado, listen to our sponsors and come right back here on AM 560.
The Answer. Guy, don't even do an interview. Not even with your attorney, because it says here that Martha Stewart had her attorney next to her, and she still said false things. So just because your attorney's there doesn't mean you're not going to say false things. So it's better not even to be interviewed. Make them go get an indictment against you. My opinion. What do you think about that, Jim?
That's my opinion as well. I share that same belief. And again, I share the same belief as in whatever you do, you should have. There are reasons why there are professions such as being a real estate agent. I know a lot of people are out there trying to do the for sale by owner. You're going to sell it on your own. And rightfully so. That's what's great about our system of government. That's what's great about our country, is that you're able to possess or buy land. It's yours, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. But remember, there are people that have this profession for a reason.
Because it's benefit. They offer benefits, and it makes financial sense. That's why you hire somebody.
That's right. That's basically what it comes down to being a real estate agent, is making sure that I'm just an advertiser. That's all I do. I make sure that I get the most exposure for your property as possible. That's why At Properties is the largest growing Chicago firm. Not firm, but one of the largest growing Chicago companies.
You can call it firm.
In Chicago. In Illinois. I mean, there's a reason for this.
Now
Give me a call, Jim Leahy, 847-271-3695.
Well, we're going to talk about Trump. I don't know if you had that other. Did you have that? You had something about the Trump thing, Deborah, right? You had a clip. I think you played it.
Do-do-do-do.
What do they call them? The Trump. What is he calling these? The rallies. Okay, the rallies.
We live in a truly incredible country, and this is an incredible time. You see what's happening. We are respected again. We are respected again. Our economy is soaring. Our jobs are booming. Factories are pouring back into our country. They're coming from all over the world. We're defending our workers. We're protecting our Constitution.
Oh, you know
You
what
just
else?
want that portion?
Yes. You know what else I wanted to talk about?
Our economy is
I wanted to
soaring.
talk
Our
about-
jobs are booming. Factories are pouring back into our.
I wanted to talk.
second half
I
of
also
that.
wanted to talk about the bodies coming from Korea.
I have that clip. Just a second.
I hate that wave feature. Wave on Facebook. You want to wave to somebody? I just waved to you.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Hi. Hello. What are you doing? Nothing.
If you do Pence, Korea.
Oh, that's what you wanted? I
Yeah.
thought
Do you have
wanted
something?
Trump
No,
talking
if
about
you have
it.
something, I'll listen to that too. But here's
Okay, I gotta cancel this. Let's finish the show.
what's the score?
3-1 Cubs.
Specifically, what part do you want?
I'm trying to find it right now. We'll just do the rally thing. I'll talk about Pence.
Yeah, let's.
And we'll talk about it because it's a short segment. So if I fill it up with, but I think these are huge things. You know, the unemployment is huge. These companies coming back, huge. These remains of these soldiers, huge. As they say, it shows that we never forget our. We have this. I heard someone saying, what other country in the world goes to these lengths to get the remains of their fallen? I don't think there is one. I don't think there is another country like that does that.
China.
I don't think China
No,
can.
they don't
I don't
care.
think
They just toss their people
they
in
got
the fire.
they got 1 billion people.
They toss them in the
yeah.
fire. We
Yeah,
saw that.
put more in.
You saw that in Chosen Reservoir.
Yes.
That's why it was so brutal. They just kept throwing it at them. Destroy them at all costs. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable.
And do they make a big deal when Ivanka doesn't agree with her dad? It's like, oh, she doesn't agree with her dad. Let's put her all over the news. Well, who cares what Ivanka
It's
says?
all right over there?
Is my making
Yeah,
noise?
you're making. I could hear it. Pretty.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let's go fix that. But that's just me, Mr. Professional.
There was also quite the exchange between our colleague, our chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta.
The good book says, if you owe debts, pay debts. If honor, then honor. If respect, then respect. And we are gathered here at this honorable carry ceremony to receive 55 flag-draped cases, which we trust include the remains of American heroes who fell in the Korean War. Some have called the Korean War the forgotten war. But today, we prove these heroes were never forgotten. Today, our boys are coming home.
Love that. Yes. Today our boys are coming home. How important is that we never forget? And that we want to bring them home, and that's a big part. And say what you want about Korea and what they're not doing, and they're still building the stuff. And what we don't have.
I didn't even know that. I mean, they just held on to these people all this time.
Yeah, they've had them.
Why not buried?
They were buried. They just dug them up and put them and brought them back to us. They were buried. Yes. So they weren't just sitting in a shelf. But they dig them up and they know where they are. Where they were buried, where they put them in mass graves.
It's not the Koreans that buried them either. It was the Americans that buried them, and then when they had to
sometimes it's Koreans too. They're dead guys. They
I know,
they
but
take
when
over
they do
a battlefield.
But when they do the retreat, when they did their retreat, especially because the Chosin Reservoir is the farthest they went, when they did their retreat, they had to do the burying, and so.
I don't know. So that's one gruesome thing. That is gruesome.
What are you going to do? Have those
The
bodies?
Chosin Reservoir is gruesome.
I know.
Wow.
One of the worst battles in history.
The dead, the frozen, stiff bodies. Unbelievable.
Talk about inhumane.
I know.
And we are gathered here at this honorable carry ceremony to receive 55 flag-draped cases, which we trust include the remains of American heroes who fell in the Korean War. Some have called the Korean War the forgotten war. But today, we prove these heroes were never forgotten. Today, our boys are coming home.
Love that. Is that meaningless? Some will say that it's meaningless, but I think it's got deep meaning.
Okay, so where are you going to go here? So you're doing the Trump segment?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Trump rallies and then.
I don't think you need to play the rally clip. I mean,
I
think
that makes sense.
This clip is more.
That's good. I like that.
Impactful.
Yeah. I agree with that.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Here we are, back on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah and Jim, and having lots of fun. We want you to join us in this fun.
We're talking about Trump. Trump!
Take a look at my Twitter account.
President Trump!
Sort of amazing.
We're talking about Trump. Trump!
America first.
President Trump!
Together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Woohoo! God bless America. So
That's
Trump's
right.
going out all over the country now doing these rallies and ginning up support, trying to get the vote, because we keep hearing that the blue wave is coming, and he's trying to stop the blue wave. I hope he does. I hope he stops the blue wave. But I wanted to talk something else about Trump, and it's got to do with a lot about, that a lot of people say is a failure, and that's Korea, right? That he hasn't really done anything. They're still building bombs over there or whatever the heck they're doing over there. And of course, that wasn't the plan yet. We don't have an agreement with them. We haven't stopped the sanctions against them yet either. But real things have happened with Korea. For instance, we had the hostages were returned, and those people, that's real life improvement. That's for real people who makes a real difference in their lives and their family. And what else has happened is they have returned our fallen from the Korean War. From all those years ago, they have fallen. And they brought 55 remains back to the States. I wanted to play this.
And we are gathered here at this honorable carry ceremony to receive 55 flag-draped cases, which we trust include the remains of American heroes who fell in the Korean War. Some have called the Korean War the Forgotten War. But today, we prove these heroes were never forgotten. Today, our boys are coming home.
Wow. How important is that to the family? They had some interviews with some people, with a young girl when she was like 13 or something. Her father disappeared, and she was at one of these at this ceremony talking about her dad and how she has been for all these years trying to get his remains back, and here they were returned, and how important it was to her and to her family to have this happen. How is it important to those who are now fighting for us? And to know that no matter what, we're going to go out, we're going to make sure you come home, and we're not going to forget about you. You're not just a number or you're one of our family. And if something happens to you, we're going to bring you home. And if they whatever it takes. Even if it takes 55 years or 60 years or whatever it's been, that we're not gonna give up, and we're gonna do all we can to bring you home. And what does that say to those that are now fighting for us? And we're gonna ask in the future to fight for us. How important is that? And I just think that to me, that was the most important event this week. The rallies of one thing, all this rhetoric and all this cheerleading and all these statistics, the most ever, the biggest the most, the largest,
It's
the most
always-
women,
it's
the
always
most.
I do this. And
It's always like that with politicians. Obama did the same thing, and now Trump's doing it. And as we talk about, the numbers are all kind of, who knows if they're right or wrong or flawed or whatever they are. I think you can't deny that the economy is better. Just the feeling, and to me, it makes it's such a that people like Jim's age and my kids' age have a future again, because I think some of us started thinking, hey, it's never going to be better in America.
Well, we'll see. Here in Illinois, it's quite different.
Well,
so.
I agree with that. And they were talking about the jobs here and how's that going to work, and
It's no coincidence that jobs are lining up along the Wisconsin border.
I agree with that. It's amazing how that's working, and all over America. Although Trump, one of the rallies was in Southern Illinois where they opened up the steel plant after all this, and the tariffs how the tariffs. They told us how it was the worst decision in the world, and yet it seems to be working. So I say, give the guy. I'm giving him a shot. So I think that.
You've been giving him a shot since he came in.
Since he was king.
Since he was king.
Well,
You've been given him a shot.
I'm not a trumpeter,
That
Jim.
you're not.
But I
If
do.
nobody, if anybody's a trumpeter, it's not you.
It's not me. I am not a trumpeter.
Yeah, you get.
But I do
not
like.
you.
But I do like some. Again, some of the stuff you have to have something to negotiate with, and we haven't done
North
a good
Korea
job.
continues to make new ballistic missiles.
I
Anyway,
know.
ladies and gentlemen, remember open tax resolution.
But they
is there for
returned
you.
our
312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your help to fight the IRS. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can't get your problem solved if you don't ask questions. So give somebody a call, and that person is going to be open tax resolution. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we got the Mr. Know-It-All segment coming up. Great segment. So stay tuned, listen to our sponsors, and come right back here on AM 560.
The answer. Should have done a little bit of a teaser before that. I guess we should probably start doing that.
That's fine.
I know David Hochberg started doing that because not Big John Howell. Who's the guy with Big John Howell? Who's the guy on Ramblin' Ray? Was on David Hochberg's show. He says, you need to do more teasers. You got to tell people what to expect in the future in the show so they stick around. When maybe you'll say something and they'll say, "Oh, I got to hear that one," so they got to stick through the show.
We did a teaser, but usually we do.
I know.
All right, let's roll.
Roll, baby, roll.
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Yeah, I'm the tax man. This is Stephen Leahy, attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560 The Answer, the tax man, and on the IRS Radio Hour with Deborah and Jim.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying the show. Remember, if you have any questions, give those good folks at Open Tax Resolution a call.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All, the segment where attorney Stephen Leahy answers those questions that burn deep inside when it comes to taxes.
And here's the question, because I got this question this week. Listen, I have an installment agreement with the IRS, and now I'm going to owe for 2017. Can I get another installment agreement?
Can you?
The answer is no. What happened, and people don't understand this because, it's not, the IRS doesn't work in 1 year at a time. So you can't have like five different installment agreements. I'm paying this one, I'm paying that one, I'm paying this other one. What happens is, because what the IRS wants to do, they want to take the money and apply it to the earliest obligation. So, because remember, there's that statute of limitations called the CSED date, the collection statute expiration date, and that collection statute expiration date, they don't want that to run out before they get paid. So they're not going to use money for 2017 when you still owe money for 2015, right? They're going to pay 2015 first. And no matter what kind of agreement you have, whether it's an installment agreement or an offer and compromise or even a currently not collectible status, part of that agreement is that you're going to stay in compliance. I talk about compliance a lot on this show because compliance, I believe, sometimes I think the IRS is more concerned about you staying in compliance than they are about collecting past due taxes. Now, don't get me wrong. They want the past due taxes too. But remember these events that you hear about, the IRS, the Fresh Start Program initiative, and pay the IRS pennies on a dollar. This does happen for some people. But even when you pay pennies on the dollar, and the IRS agrees not to take a lot less. Part of that agreement is that you're going to stay in compliance for the next 5 years. And so if you're in an installment agreement and then you don't pay your taxes in 2017, you don't need a new installment agreement. You need an installment agreement because they probably canceled your other one. That other one's been, or you've defaulted. You haven't, they have, part of the agreement is you're going to stay in compliance, and you haven't done that. You're not in compliance. And so you don't have this other agreement. Well, I pay every month. Well, they'll take your money every month, but they won't, but they don't consider you in an installment agreement anymore. Yeah. You're in collections. And what that means is now they can start taking, you could go to your bank and all of a sudden find out that they took all the money out of your bank account. But wait, how can they do that? I've been paying every month. They don't, but you don't have an agreement in place. So you're in collections. So even though you're paying them every month, and the same thing with a levy. Well, they're levying my bank account, they're levying my wages. And so I just going to pay them that way. And then you just sit back and you hope everything's well. And then you go to your bank account and you find out that they levied your bank too. And they say, well, how can they do that? I'm paying every month in the levy with my wages. Well, because you're not in an agreement. They're going to continue coming after you. And they're not going to only do one thing, right? They're going to do as much as they can because they want to get you in compliance and in an agreement. This is what we call this on the show, cascading tax problem. So I owe last year, now I owe again this year, now I'm going to owe again next year, and that's what they want to stop. The IRS doesn't want you to every year rolling. They call it pyramiding. You're pyramiding your debt. This year you owe, next year you owe, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So in order to solve an IRS problem, and I tell people this all the time, right? The first thing you need to do to solve an IRS problem, no matter how big it is, no matter how long it goes back, is stop creating future problems. Get in compliance. File your tax returns on time. Pay your taxes as they come due. This is the only way to solve IRS problems. That's the only way. All this other stuff I could do, we could try to solve it. We can get you an installment agreement. We can get you an offer in compromise. We can get you in currently not collectible status. But as soon as you don't file your tax return or you don't pay your taxes next April 15th, boom, you're out. You're right back where you were.
We talked about it in the blog segment. Remember, representation is key.
Oh,
again, this is the whole point right here. You get in a cascading tax problem because you don't have the proper representation because you think you could do it on your own, but you do it on your own and you're not having the right leverage.
And you don't understand the agreement. I know they send you stuff in the mail. Read it. Nobody reads it. And even if you read it, sometimes people don't understand it. So part of any agreement you have with the IRS, so if you call the IRS and they put you into some installment agreement, part of that agreement is that you're going to stay in compliance. And when you don't stay in compliance, you have defaulted on the agreement. And when you default on the agreement, now you're back in collections and they can start taking things away from you again. So you go to your bank account and they've taken the money out. You go to your job and they've garnished your wages. And now you're really stuck. What are you going to do? So don't get into that thing, into that problem. Solve it before. Come to see me. Anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, contact Open Tax Resolutions. But if you're worried about calling and picking up the phone and going through that, you can always go to YouTube because on every Friday, we record the show Friday, show or Sunday. Go to YouTube, go to Law Office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. We'll answer for you. And also give them a call, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your help to fight the IRS. Watch previous videos, get in contact with Attorney Stephen Leahy. Let's get your problem solved today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go to commercial break. We're going to wrap it up. IRS Radio Hour style here on AM 560, The Answer.
Carl Edwards.
How about Hamels, huh?
Was that impressive?
What if he comes out?
It says right there, impressive.
What if he comes out and just kills it?
Like he did. That was incredible. And when is Morrow coming back? Do you know?
I don't think they're really telling people what's going on here. These guys are beat up.
I agree, they are beat up. Please, Carl Edwards Jr., please put them out of the, get them out. Don't let them score runs.
All right, let's do it.
We are going to do it as soon as Deborah's ready. The friendly. Oh, I haven't plugged the book. I'll plug the book. Is that you, Jimmy?
Yes.
Urlacher being chased by Culpepper, and that's Brian Urlacher, who's done everything today.
My bad, Toe. My bad, dude. I did on accident.
He's a great competitor that doesn't allow the game not to be fun.
Now we're having fun. See what happens when we have fun?
Harrington under pressure from Brown. Can't escape Urlacher. His second of the day.
3rd and 14 right now on a double pass, and it's caught by Perry, and it's a fumble. Urlacher pulled it out, and Griggs has got it for Chicago.
No, I see it was on. Sorry.
Looking for the picture. I don't see the picture.
What picture?
Of the flag. I didn't see
Go
it.
down. It's not a picture. Go down. No, that's not it. Go down. You're not even on the right one.
This is what from Judge. I just watched that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I just watched it. I didn't see a flag. They didn't show the flag.
What? No way. No way. Where did you find this? Where is this? Did you click the Judge report?
Yes.
Stop. Really? What? That's not the video I saw. The video I saw was a guy. That's weird. Because I saw it was a guy who was flying a Confederate flag.
Maybe that was just stock footage or something. I don't know, but
That was weird.
I don't know.
Is he really flying a swastika?
I don't know. I don't know, Jim.
Who the hell flies a swastika? Well, if he's flying a swastika, get rid of him.
Throw him in jail?
No, I look like an idiot. What the hell did I watch?
I don't know.
That's not the video I saw. The video I saw was a guy that, in a local Marine, said he had to take down the Confederate flag because he didn't want any injustice. What was being played?
Hundreds line up for gushing oil jobs.
Come on. Well, if that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm
China
wrong.
to retaliate with tariffs of $60 billion.
Maybe I'm wrong. What the hell did I see then?
New York Times editorial board member, kill more men. F the police. Is this that? Yep, more stuff about this Sarah Jung.
Now it's not playing for me. That's not right. That's not the video I saw. Oh, it is a Nazi flag. What the hell did I watch then? Great. I hate this show. So I don't talk about the news anymore. I look like an idiot.
No, you don't. That's
What the hell did I watch then? Why did they put that then? What, a guy flying a
you saw
Confederate
it,
flag?
so you saw it.
Why
Don't
would
worry
they
about
put-
it. Don't worry about it.
Anything can be photoshopped, Jim. So
Well, no, it was a news story of a guy that put up a Confederate flag.
So you saw a news story. So that's what you reported on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm no
It doesn't
different
make
than the
you-
media now because I'm lying.
No, you're not. You talked about a news story you saw. That's what you saw. So there's nothing wrong with
Wow,
that.
yeah. Well, this guy needs to go then. Look at this. That is a Nazi. What are you doing?
What do you mean he has to go? I don't understand that.
The Nazi flag has to be
They just said he can't because it's private property. They can't stop him from flying it.
change.org.
And should they be able to change what he's should they be able to tell him to take it down?
It's the same thing as, yeah.
No, they shouldn't.
Why I can't put up certain fence work in my neighborhood.
But that's
Why?
if there's an agreement not to do that, then yes, you can't do that. But if they say, oh yeah, you can put flags up, and then
I don't know what their agreement in there.
But that's why I just read the story, Jim, and it said that they can't get him to stop it because it's his private property, and there's no rule that says he can't fly whatever flag he wants, and he should be able to fly whatever flag he wants. You might not like it, but you can't go in there and trounce in there and start taking it away from him. My own opinion. It's not more than my opinion. It's the law. Did you see this dust storm in Arizona?
Are we?
Whoa.
we're ready now.
What-
Yeah.
Let's do it. Are you gonna start? You gonna do that right
I'm
away?
going to play that Brian Urlacher clip
Right off the block. Okay, good.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
And that's Brian Urlacher, who's done everything today.
He's a great competitor that doesn't allow the game not to be fun.
Woo! Woo! Now we're having fun. See what happens when we have fun?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for Brian Urlacher, number 54 and more. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying the show. I just want to throw it out there. I want to retract the statement I said earlier in the first segment. I misread it. It was a Nazi flag guy flew. That is.
Well, maybe you saw something there. They changed
some kind, but the video they had was a Confederate flag.
Okay, so that
was a mistake on my part.
They put it. There was a mistake on their part. First, congratulations to Brian Urlacher.
Yes, that is true. Congratulations to him.
I wanted to also talk about our guy because he was on our show, Lloyd Rutsky. He's the author of the book, Wrigley Field's Amazing Vendors. He was on WGN today in the morning news, so they had him on, and
that's nice. Yeah,
he was in his vendor uniform, and they did an interview with him, and he had other guys with him. So congratulations! And again, great book. Go buy the book.
I can't say it enough how much I really do. Again, Brian Urlacher is my favorite football player. Like watching him play. Growing up with him is that's who I think of when it's the Chicago Bears.
And as you were mentioning before, I'm happy he never went anywhere else, right? Because you want to be a Bear. He's a bear.
I know how people feel about Sammy Sosa. Fine, have your feel, but I was a kid, grew up with him, '98. Big Cubs fan, saw that happen. So I'm a big Sammy Sosa guy. That's just the truth. Whatever happens with the steroid thing, whatever. But I'm a big Sammy Sosa
fan. I am too. I'm a big Sammy Sosa fan.
And you know what? It's just when he was traded from the Cubs, I was devastated because that was like the guy that I always grew up with watching. But
of course, he didn't have all of his career like Ryan Sandberg, all Cubs, right? So that's my
Philly.
Oh, he did come from Philly. He did, but that was the first rookie year, and he came in, and so then the rest of his career.
I understand, but it's Brian Urlacher again. You knew he was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, you knew he was going to be a first ballot.
We have some sort of history with middle linebackers, Jim.
Yeah, we do, and hopefully we get this Roquan Smith signed.
With my Mike Singletary.
I hope I'm saying that right. I'm getting everything wrong today. But no, I hope I'm saying, hopefully we get that kid signed. He's still holding out. Again, we record Friday show or Sunday.
Did you feel good that football's back, Jim? Does that make you feel good?
I'm excited. I hope the Bears are good this year. I really do.
I always hope
8-8. I'd be happy.
I don't. That's not good though.
Coming from where
you say you want to be good, I know it's better than I know, but that's not good. If 2 of those 8 are 2 Green Bay Packer wins, then I'm okay with that.
All of our friends up north are laughing at us.
I know they hate the Bears more than I hate the.
You say it just like you're not a trumpeter. You hate them just as much as
I think they hate the Bears more than I hate them. Like the Sox fans, I think hate the Cubs more.
Again, you were just so ridiculous. It's you're of no importance to me. Get out of here. I've seen you react with the Bears Packers. So listen, I've seen it. All right, I've lived it.
I love all people, Jim. I love people, even with cheese on their head.
Even IRS professionals.
I even like the IRS people. I love all people. And I love you too, Jim.
Have you met nice people in the IRS?
I have, matter of fact.
Have you met really mean people in the IRS?
Yes, I have. I have met some mean people. And
we've talked about that before. You can go on YouTube and watch those videos. You can go to ChicagoTaxTeam.com and watch those videos. And ladies and gentlemen, there's ways of getting your question answered. So we want to thank you so much for tuning our show. We're running out of time. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, open tax resolution 312-664-6649 and visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your help to fight the IRS. Hub. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you so much. Remember, same bad time, same bad channel every Sunday at 5 o'clock. If you're on Fridays and you're on YouTube, you can watch it live and get your question answered. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, open tax resolution is here for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to more fine-tuning on this station on AM 560.
The Answer. About Hamill. Should have talked about
No,
him.
we shouldn't.
Are you going to thank everyone?
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thanks so much for watching.
We do apologize for the, well, at least I do, for the the misread of the article.
I don't think you misread it. I think they changed it. I think that they're wrong and you just got
The
caught up
original
in it.
video, again, had a guy that was
There you
saying
go.
that he
So
took
that's
down
not-
a
that's
Confederate
not something
flag.
you
And I was
did
like, why are
wrong.
you calling it Nazi flag? It's a Confederate flag. But in reality, the guy is flying a Nazi flag, so I understand.
Again, my own opinion is let the guy fly whatever he wants.
Well, I'm of the opinion that he's a jerk. Well, he's a nut. If you read the article, he's saying because he's in distress. It's a distress call because I'm being hacked. What does that mean? The guy's insane. Leave him alone. Anyway, that's right. He's got tinfoil on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Remember, open text resolution is here for you. Jim Leahy with Ad Properties, 847-271-3695. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next week.